title cannot be established on grounds of faith, belief. They are kind of indicator for deciding the dispute. Then going on to say, evidence suggests Hindus were in possession of the outer courtyard. Remember, this is the portion that the Allahabad High Court in 2010 also awarded to the Hindu side. Then going on to say, the extensive nature of Hindus worshipping at outer courtyard at site has been there. The evidence also suggests, the court goes on to say, that Muslims offered Friday prayers at the mosque, which indicates they have not lost possession. Despite obstruction caused in offering prayers at mosque, evidence suggests that there was no abandonment. All of this attributed to the Supreme Court on wire reports, and that is what I'm reading out for you. The Supreme Court going on to say, iron railing was set up at the site in 1856 to 1857. It suggests that Hindus kept worshipping at the site. The Supreme Court essentially reflecting what has been known and reported for long, and parts of which have made it to the 2010 Allahabad High Court order as well. More flashes coming in. The Muslims have not adduced evidence that they were in exclusive possession of the disputed site. Remember, all three parties have claimed complete ownership of the entire site, unlike what the Allahabad High Court had ordered, which was to split it into three parts. And that is what they were petitioning against. They wanted a review of that order. The UP Sunni Central Waqf Board has failed to establish its case in the Ayodhya dispute. This is a flash that I'm reading off the Press Trust of India right now, and another important piece of information coming in. On the contrary, Hindus established their case that they were in possession of the outer courtyard. Now, this is being said in the context of the outer courtyard. The damage to Babri Mosque was violation of law. This is another very important statement coming in from the Supreme Court, and I'm reading off, what the wire reports are saying. The Supreme Court has directed an allotment of alternative land to Muslims to build a new mosque. This, I believe, is, the most important line so far that we are seeing, and gives us some sense of direction to what the Supreme Court is saying today and the Chief Justice is saying today. The Supreme Court has directed an allotment of alternate land to the Muslim side, that we can now assume means that the disputed land, we'll have to wait and see exactly what they're saying, but the outer courtyard, the Supreme Court seems to be clear that the possession of it by the Hindu side has been proven. Let's go across to some of our speakers. We have with us Swaminathan Iyer. Just from what we've said so far, an allotment of an alternate land to the Muslim side has been directed. Swami, here the Supreme Court, the top court, also trying to, put out a message which will be accepted by all sides?
No, I mean, if you say that they have to be given an alternative site, it suggests that they are not going to have any share in this disputed land. If that is the case, I think that would
coming in possession of inner outer courtyard will be given to a newly made trust. Handing over of disputed property to trust made by centre. The centre or state government will be allotting a 5-acre land in Ayodhya to the Sunni Waqf Board. That, of course, is the alternate land that was being spoken about. But the disputed side of it, the possession of the inner and outer courtyard will be given to a newly made trust. And this trust will be under the aegis of the central government. The disputed property will be handed to the trust made by the centre. Now, we'll have to go and wait and see what the composition of this trust is. Let's just get some inputs on the new information that we have with us. The Supreme Court also saying that, the ouster of Muslims in 1992 was not in line with the law. The Supreme Court striking, a note and making statements which would seem like they're giving justice to all sides. This is the fresh information we have. Swami, please continue. So it seems, what seems to have happened so far, that the disputed area will now be put into a trust. The centre will form this Ayodhya Trust and will be given to the centre. A suitable plot of 5-acre land as an alternative will be given to the Sunni Waqf Board. Let's go across to Swaminathan Iyer for his, first take sort of on what we know so far.
Everything depends on what will be the aims and objects of this particular trust. That needs to be spelled out. Until you know what the aims and objectives are, just to say that there is a trust does not tell us enough. Does it mean, for instance, that none of the other parties, does it mean that the trust will decide whether there's going to be a temple or not? Will the trust decide whether it can be shared? What will the trust do? What will be its powers? Until that is spelled out, until we know what that is, it will be impossible to decide whether there are winners or losers in this particular case. So let us wait and find out what are the aims and objectives of the trust, what will be the nature of the trustees, what powers will they have. That, I think, will then give us an idea of what the final outcome will be.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are going to wait for all of that information coming in, but we do know that the trust will be set up by a central government scheme within 3 months, and the disputed property will be handed over to a trust made by the centre. Nayantara Rai joining us for more. Nayantara, we're parsing all the information coming in. It's coming in a flood, but we're parsing it very carefully before putting it out to our viewers. What do you have with you?
It is our colleague Abhimanyu Sharma who is sending the live updates from there. But it does seem as if the Supreme Court has said that there will be an alternative site that is going to be provided for building a mosque. We believe the pronouncement of the judgment is over. That the Chief Justice of India is actually thanking all those that took part. I'm going to ask my camera person to also pan the camera, because this is all live action which is coming here. The lawyers from inside the courtroom who are now exiting, they will be coming very soon for the live reaction. But this is what it is. The Chief Justice of India saying Article 142, under it, no one should be wronged. Alternate land to be provided to the Muslims for a mosque. The handing over of the disputed property to a trust that will be formed by the centre. A 5-acre land in Ayodhya must be given to the Sunni
will frame a scheme
board.
within 3 months.